1903 Ford delivery truck of a 1947 International over-the-road truck made after World War II by Chrysler Corporation. And this is the replica of the space shuttle. And here's a replica of a 1903 Cadillac runabout. There's a picture of it. It looked just like it. A nice boat I built. I used to have one like it when I lived in Florida with a big outboard motor on it. Now this steering wheel will turn this engine back and forth just like a real one. The prop turns on it like a real one. And everything, the gear shifts, everything on it. That's one of my favorites right there. I made 1959. That's made from a cypress stump come out of the Everglades in Florida, and one block of wood, a square block when I started, and it ended up with this. Alligator heads on it. That's an old-timey log skidder they used back in the old days when they didn't have nothing to snake logs with out of the swamps and out of the woods and stuff, with oxkins. And our big team of draft horses, they call them. They'd put on there, and the driver would sit right here coming out of the woods with the logs. And this here, what they had taken, they called dogs on there, and they'd put them in the end of them logs and hook it up, and they'd drag them out with it. I rode when I was about 6, 7 years old with my granddad and my dad, day after day, on that stagecoach here is about it and everything. And they've got the seats in there, it's all padded and everything, just like the real one was, piece by piece. And that's cut out with a pocket knife. Every piece of it was cut, whittled out, shaped, then glued together. You start from the inside and come out when you're doing them, because you have to build the interior of it first. You can't get in there by hand to make them. This little plane here, there's a big story behind it. Right there's the story on it. This set 4 world records. I can't think of the man's name, but he, with fuel, time, and everything, 4 world records in one run with this. He made it himself. And there's a story about it right there on the back, you see. So. And this is a World War II C-54. They used to haul equipment in and stuff. It's got everything in it, hollowed out, fixed. Another one here. Here's the big jet, supersonic jet that they use till today. And World War zones and stuff. That's engines there, and this is rockets here underneath the wings. And here's where the fighter jets fuel up. They fly supersonic things that fly way up above radars and everything. You know. Canoe. I used to run a canoe rental. It's got my name on there, Buffalo Shoals Canoe Rental. That's made out of red cedar with a pocket knife. Paddles, everything goes with it.
This right here.
This is called a chuck wagon. They used to use these traveling west back in the old days, covered wagons and everything. You've seen them on television with wagon trains, they call it, going across country. This is one of them.
Water jug.
That's a water barrel, and this is another water barrel, and inside is a bed, an old-timey peddler wagon, they call it. That back when I was a small kid, they would come twice a month by the house with a team of horses pulling this, and many a time he stopped at my dad's place and on the farm there in Alabama, and they trade with him. He had a little old stick you'd prop this up with, and he worked from inside. And he'd trade for chickens, butter, eggs, anything you had for something he had. And here's where he got in and out of it at, you see. And he had a coop on the side. I didn't put it in chickens if you traded with him then. Spent the night, don't tell him how many times at our house. Travels and stuff in them old days. One horse farm. And when I was 16 years old, I quit high school and joined the Navy. Navy for a year, 6 months in World War II. And what they call a small landing craft. They call it the coxswain. The manager, the one that run the boat from the ship to the beach, taking the troops on the invasions and putting them on the shore. I done. And I'm out the Korean situation Navy again. And I lived in Alabama when I got married, down there for years. For a construction out in Missile State, 8 children. And I put a canoe down here at Bell Bridge, and I run that for 98 and done nothing since. It whittled out a model plane when I was 14 years old. Never whittled out with a town called Scottsboro, Alabama, that around where I was raised, not too far from there, 12 miles out of there is where I was raised. So anyway, I seen this little biplane flying around over the town every first get together, and they still do to today in Scottsboro. So anyway, there's a guy standing up on there with a harness on him, and that plane was he's doing everything, that guy standing on the wings. And I stood there, I was so enthused about that, I went to the home and I started with grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren.
Well, he's got a daughter that lives in Waynesboro.
Oh. Yeah, my baby daughter lives in Waynesboro. She comes over every weekend, fixing me Sunday dinner and everything. They was there yesterday, we had a good time. Their wagon went like this. I've got a picture of it. House. That's the only one they took a picture of at the senior citizen.
You got stuff scattered everywhere, ain't you?
Everywhere. And down there, that little pickup I'm telling you about, he is registered the World Art Association.
Okay.
Because he belongs to it. And like I say, he's a wealthy attorney and a real good one. And he went ahead and registered it in there, and he wrote me a letter.
Okay.
Yeah. And you read the letter he wrote. He said he didn't realize there's anybody in this world that could do that kind of pocket knife and wood. Well, the Iwo Jima is where it's at. I got a little that blowed out from under me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's 8 Marines in there that got killed when that knee mortar hit the boat.
And it's just too late.
Yeah, just me and my tail gunner on the back of the boat on the 30 caliber machine gun. I shoved him off of the boat as I went off. And
he got saved too.
Hot sand right there, and then it was pulled out after that happened to finish up about 5 shoots, and it done the same thing.
You probably saved life by pushing
I
him
did.
off.
And
Give me a hand.
well, no, that's.
Ain't that great?
I get
Saving a
nervous
man's
when I
life.
start thinking about it and talking about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I won't.
Like I say, that's what I went for, and that's what I was doing.
That's impossible.
Tear him up now. There you go. If you give him halfway change, Mr. Buford,
I know. He run the whole table off there a while ago.
Yeah. You give him a halfway change, he'll take care of you.
W.A. Ledbetter out of Lexington. I was back in 1954. I was up in Ohio.
After dinner. And I think he's gone.
Going up to Pilot now, wasn't anything. The only thing between there's a church and French's Fish Market. Houses. Oh, yeah, I've been up there. They got a new thing up there.
Yeah, oh.
Road, yeah.
Marcel? Hot dog.
Somebody told me that. Michael, I doubt it.
Neither one of these guys are county. That's right.
I'm a farmer. I don't want to be.
He moved his
Nashville, Round Beach Grove.
Wayne County, so I know
in Florida.
Terry County.
No.
I missed one right in the whole
Waiting for that. Look at that. Just enough. Just enough.
Yeah.